Item number 6, approval of consent. Could I have a motion, please?
Move the governing board approve consent agenda items A through L in accordance with policy BEPB-5.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's passed. Okay. We're on to educational services and the approval of name change for Squaw Peak Traditional Academy. I'm going to call for the request to address the board. I have these in no particular order. Please remember that you have 3 minutes maximum. Scott Yanni.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Scott Yanni. I'm a parent of a first grader at Squaw Peak Traditional Academy who was also in the FLY program. I also attended this very school, Monte Vista, from 2nd through 6th grade. I did speak at the last meeting, so I won't be repeating what I said previously, but I do hope you'll review the notes. I am against the name change and ask you to consider a few things before you re-vote on it. After attending and speaking at the last meeting, I don't think anybody can really come to terms or an agreement on the word squaw. That is tomato, tomato. You're not ever going to get anyone to agree on it, so I don't think that should be the main issue about who is right or who is wrong on that. The issue to me should be about how the committee went about getting support and votes for the change. The name change committee stated at the last meeting that the name Biltmore would bring prestige and excellence along with new families to the school. I asked how are those families going to feel with a Biltmore image in their minds when they find an older school that is in need of carpet, in need of paint, and in need of a little love, not a name change. They also stated that because of the name Squaw Peak, that enrollment was down. The sad and ugly truth about the Squaw Peak community and other Creighton community neighborhoods is that parents were choosing to put their children into other schools and districts where test scores were higher, not because of the names of the school. However, thanks to the blueprint with the traditional academy system and the introduction of the FLY program that was started by Dr. Wessel and that is being continued by Principal Pertamic, we now have a kindergarten class that has doubled from last year, and there's a wait list for next year. I would also like the board to reconsider on how those votes were tallied. The committee stated that only 1 vote per household was allowed. Now, many households have a hard time agreeing on dinner, let alone politics. So I think that the committee votes and statistics could very well be likely to compromise by only allowing 1 vote per household. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I would ask you to ask yourselves, would you sit on any board or elected position where your fate was decided by only 1 vote per household? Squaw Peak Traditional Academy and the Creighton School are in need of many things: school supplies, paint, carpet, playground equipment, and most of all, finances, not a name change. The name Biltmore does not reflect our school, our community, or the neighborhood that I've lived in for over 25 years. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Emily Warren.
Hi, I'm Emily. I was a student of Squaw Peak kindergarten through 8th grade. I've lived in the community my entire life. My younger brother also attended Squaw Peak K through 8, and my younger siblings right now are there, and they're in 2nd grade. When I was at Squaw Peak, I was a cheerleader, I was in junior ambassadors, I went to Germany, I volunteered at Carnival after I graduated. Squaw Peak has been like a home to me. I first found out about the name change a couple weeks ago. This is the very first time I've heard of it. My mom used to be in PTO, and she didn't say much about it because she didn't want to be either or. She wanted me to form my own opinion. And so when I found out of this, I was very concerned because that was like a home to me, and Biltmore Preparatory Academy isn't exactly the place I would call it. When I found out, I turned to social media because, as we all know, it's taking over the world right now. So I started a Facebook page called People Against Squaw Peak Name Change. I started that about 2 weeks ago. I have 163 likes right now. I have paper if you guys all want a copy. I wanted people to hear about it and to voice their opinion. And I have many people who wrote on the wall stating, this is the first time we've heard about it, why didn't we hear about it soon? Some of the things people were saying, Rhonda Reed said, as a former board member, I would like to express my concern over changing names of what is a landmark in the district, Squaw Peak School. Please don't change the campus name. Instead, I encourage the creative board and administration to find ways to encourage and increase student achievement. Also work to improve working conditions for faculty and staff members at Squaw Peak and the rest of Craven schools. Julian said, save the money for something better, such as textbooks or other things for the students, instead of something totally ridiculous like changing the name. Deborah Bear said, besides the fact that the idea of changing the name is ridiculous, Biltmore Preparatory Academy, Squaw Peak isn't even in the Biltmore area. Julie Mills said, leave it the way it is, changing would be a waste of time and money, and it just went on and on and on. I had over 30 wall posts, people were calling me, people were emailing me, and I just, when your community speaks out like that, I would want you to take note, and students, my peers, they found out, and they're like, Squaw Peak is their home, and everyone, no one really, in my age and my friends, everyone thinks this is ridiculous, and my siblings, they found out, and they're like, what's Biltmore? We've never heard of Biltmore. Why would our school be Biltmore? And they're in second grade. So that's their school, that's their home too. That's all for now, thank you.
Thank you. Eleanor Faust.
Dr. Boyle, Dr. Wagner, and school board members, my name is Eleanor Faust. I live at 3101 East Campbell Avenue, and I came to speak about 7A, the Squaw Peak name change. Changing the name will be a great expense. It's not simply a matter of changing the name on the billboard. I have a list of things that are going to have to be changed. How many library books are there? Every library book is going to have Squaw Peak School blanked out and have the new name put in. Or we could just throw away the books. The stone plaque that was presented by student council, is that going to be jackhammered off the wall and thrown away? Stationery and ink stamps, we're going to throw those away and purchase new ones? T-shirts that the parents have already purchased, they're going to have to buy new ones, and that's going to cost them money. PTO has them T-shirts in stock. They're going to have to throw away their stock and buy all new stock. What about all the signs around the school? Should we throw them away and purchase new ones, or shall we try to re-stencil them? Every piece of equipment, shall we try to re-stencil them after removing the current name? There's bank accounts, printing fees for new checks, and the man hours taken to shred the old checks. On top of that, the man hours to change the name on the service contracts, computer programs, subscriptions, websites, and equipment. Can that cost even be estimated? If you took a good look around campus to see how many places the name Squaw Peak appears, you would have to look in every drawer, room, closet, and cupboard. You would have to look under or on the side of every desk, chair, machine, computer, and piece of play equipment. You will not be changing the name of one mountain because someone finds it offensive. You will be trying to obliterate the name from an almost infinite number of items. And that's just at the site level. What about the district? I heard that this was all going to be taken care of through private funding. To me, that infers that this is being promoted by a private interest group. I thought that we were a public school, and this is a public school board, and we were elected to represent the public, not the private interest. A school's image is not in its name, it's in the caliber of its staff and its students. I worked for 11 years at Squaw Peak as a volunteer. I was there every day. And these teachers are wonderful, and they work so hard with their students. Squaw Peak School has a tradition of excellent learning. It does not need a name change to continue that tradition. Thank you.
Sandy Kukla, is that how you pronounce it? I'm sorry.
That's correct, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a parent of a first grader at Squaw Peak, and I also live in the neighborhood about a minute away. So it is very much part of my neighborhood and my community, the school. I'm in favor of the name change, and I have been supporting that change for a long time, and the efforts at all of the Squaw Peak changes in the last 2 years, or 3 years, however long it's been going on. But I just wanted to make 2 points today because I have spoken before, and I don't want to talk about the same things, but my 2 points are that there is the old name and then what the new name is going to be. I think there's very overwhelming support that the name needs to change. The word squaw is very offensive, and I think that we can all kind of agree on that. But the second is what the new name is going to be. So in society, we're never going to get 100% consensus of anything, no matter how hard you try. It's just not going to happen. So I just want to touch on a couple of the reasons why the Biltmore Preparatory Academy is a great name for the school. You know, first of all, it covers the geography of the area. The process was followed. I really want to touch on that. The process that we were given, that this board has in place, the policy was followed. Facebook is not part of that process, so that should not be considered. It's not part of that process. We don't know what those 160 followers are. Who are they? They could be living in North Dakota. I don't know. So that should not be considered. It's not part of the process. It's very important that that is not on the board's mind. The fact is there's 89% community support in the district, and I think that is the most important thing. So those are my points. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. John Shamlin.
Good evening. My name is John Shamlin. I'm a parent of 2 kids that go to Squaw Peak, and I do support the name change. Somebody may need to raise their hand in 3 minutes. I've heard a couple reasons so far as to why this should not go through, and frankly, I'm not hearing anything new. The Facebook page that we've heard addressed, the other comments that were in the votes, the opposition all seems to come down to it's going to cost money. Well, the money's been addressed. It's not being paid for by a private interest group or some sort of lobbyist, even lobbyist firm. It's being paid for by parents, like my checkbook, that will write a check to cover this cost. So we're not some sort of evil group of parents that want our kids to have a better place to go to school. I've read the post on the Facebook page.